Guys, I just want to say it is no longer about Israel and Iran anymore. It's now about Iran and the United States. I'm sure everybody heard that over the weekend, the United States went after three nuclear sites. I think it's on this one. Um, okay, it's not on this one, but I think it was but bunker busters. I don't know how many bunker busters, if it was bunker busters, but nonetheless, they took out three key nuclear sites in Iran, and apparently, it's the tensions are being heightened now. The Iranian state says that after the three strikes on the nuclear sites, there are currently no radiation leaks. So basically, they're saying that the strikes did not achieve the objective the US had in mind, and that's basically an FU to Donald Trump from the Iranian side, saying that even though you threw us with bunker busters, there's nothing going on. I mean, but for them saying that there's no radiation leaks, does that mean that um, the nuclear the nuclear material is still safe? Is that what it means? But what if it's a lie? That's the other thing. What if it's a lie and there is radiation leaks, and they're just not telling people about it? But what if there is actually radiation leaks? That would be getting seriously dangerous for the Iranian people, of course, and especially for the vegetation and the land and the sand, because of all the radiation. And at the same time, from what I found out, the supreme leader of Iran is also looking at successes for his leadership. So either he is stepping down, or maybe it's under the fear that he will be assassinated. But if he is going to be assassinated, then he's not really. Then is he really going to give up the fight against Israel? Because if you know that you're going to be killed, you might as well just go full into it, right? You might as well just go, yeah, it's World War III. I'm going to go full on. We're going to launch all our stuff. I'm going to be killed in any case. That at least that from his point of sight, or somebody that's going to get assassinated, right? Because if it's definite that he won't be leading Iran after this war, then why not go full head? I want to see how far is this going to escalate, because it is going pretty far now. I mean, the United States now is fully involved. They just don't have the boots on the ground like they've been saying the entire time. But I actually don't know why I have this video on here, but let's just hear what these people have to say.
Air base are among the most exposed to Iranian retaliation. Al Dhafra Air Base in the United Arab Emirates and Al Udeid
Don't
Air
know what
Base
she's
in
saying.
Qatar could also be targeted. In March, Iran had warned that it possesses the capability to strike enemy bases anywhere.
If conflict is imposed on us, then without a doubt the other side will suffer
Have
more
somebody
losses than we
speak, guys.
will.
There's too many
And in
mics.
that case, America will have to leave the region. Because all its bases are within our reach. We have access to them, and without hesitation, we will target all of them in the host countries.
Closing the Strait of Hormuz will
There's
also
so
have
many
big
mics.
impact on the economy. The world's most critical oil corridor handles around 20 million barrels of crude oil per day, nearly one-fifth of the global daily consumption.
Oh my gosh, the oil price is rising. I know, I feel it. Oh my gosh. Because of this so-called war. Oh, dude, everything is going up. The amount of people getting killed, the fact that there's nuclear material out there, it might be leaks, might not be leaks, the jets flying around, the fuel flying around in the air, because they have airplanes that they have aircrafts that carry fuel, so you know it's like a mobile gas station but in the air. And on top of that, now the oil is getting expensive.
A closure means crippling oil exports from key Gulf producers. Iran's proxies have also condemned the US action. Yemen's Houthi rebels have already condemned the attack as a blatant declaration of war. It has ended its agreement with the United States to halt attacks in the Red Sea.
When did that
More
happen?
attacks are expected. If Iran chooses any of these options, the result may well be a long war with alarming consequences. Bureau Report, WION World is One.
As a conflict
Supreme Leader. If you guys watch that movie, I am Supreme Leader, and I say. I'm sorry, I just had to do it.
widens in West Asia, a special flight under Operation Sindhu brought back over 285 Indian nationals on Sunday. According to the details, the Mahan Air flight carrying mostly students and pilgrims
Everybody's just
landed at
bailing.
Delhi's
Everybody's
Indira
just
Gandhi
leaving.
International Airport Over 200 students from Jammu and Kashmir were among the passengers, while others were pilgrims who had
Like,
traveled to
he
Iran
hasn't been here for no reason.
for ziyarat. India has been expediting the process of evacuating its nationals from the war-torn nation.
Why is everybody looking at me? It's like, why is everybody
India has successfully evacuated 1,713 nationals. As the operation gains momentum, many students remain thankful to the Indian government for ensuring their safe return. A sigh of relief took over those who were plunged in sudden uncertainty and risked
Okay, well, that seems to be the Indians. They seem to be okay. They're doing okay. That's fantastic. Let's take these are U.S. officials. Yeah, that's the other thing. Iran actually threatened the United States to back off. Like, to back off, okay? And I just want to know, what does Iran still have? What card is it that they still have up their sleeve to play? The fact that they can threaten one of the most powerful countries, militarily speaking, in the entire world. Like, just why? Like, that's the question. Like, what do you have? You just threaten. What do you have?
Just in that Iran directly threatened America.
Tom, tonight NBC News has learned that message from Iran was conveyed to President Trump by an intermediary during last week's G7 summit, warning the president if he launched airstrikes against Iran's nuclear facilities, Iran could respond by unleashing terrorist attacks on the U.S. by activating sleeper cells it has inside this country, according to two U.S. officials. All as we learn new details about those historic strikes.
Yo, sleeper cells, intense. That reminds me of the movie with Mark Wahlberg where they were going after a certain Russian, like, sleeper cell. I haven't heard of sleeper cells in a long time. I only thought those were in movies, to be honest. But America has sleeper cells? Like, how many? Whoa.
Tonight, the new video, B-2 bombers returning to their Missouri base after those secretive strikes. And now
Beautiful jets.
our first look at the targets they hit inside Iran. These before and after images show the massive impact of the U.S. attack on Isfahan, one of 3 Iranian nuclear facilities hit.
Initial battle damage assessments indicate that all 3 sites sustained extremely severe damage and destruction.
The commander-in-chief with this declaration overnight.
I can report to the world that the strikes were a spectacular military success. Iran's key nuclear enrichment facilities have been completely and totally obliterated.
Pentagon officials say it's too soon to tell, but tonight the U.S. is also preparing for potential Iranian retaliation, though the Trump administration emphasizes the attack was intended as a limited one-time strike.
We're not at war with Iran. We're at war with Iran's nuclear program.
President Trump inside
There.
the Situation Room with...
Look. I'm not trying to destroy your country. I'm just trying to get rid of the people that lead it. Look, I'm not at war with you, okay? I just want to get rid of your weapons. Why do you want to do that? Yo, I don't want you to have weapons, okay? I don't want you to be able to fight back. I mean, fight at all.
Vice President Vance, his Secretaries of State and Defense, as well as Chief of Staff Susie Wiles and Joint Chiefs Chairman Dan Kane. The president issuing this warning to the Iranian regime.
Iran, the bully of the Middle East, must now make peace. If they do not, future attacks will be far greater and a lot easier. For 40
The way you said it, and a lot easier. Like, we did it before, we can do it again. Because you didn't stop, like, they didn't stop them. I mean, they said the B-2 bombers went to a certain location, and from what I heard is that they sent a whole group of B-2 bombers to the same location, right? For fuel up, or like halfway, a checkpoint. And then they said, okay, they sent in the B-2 bombers home. But the other B-2 bombers did not come. It was like, I don't know how many, but let's just say there was 10 of them. 5 went back to the US, 5 went straight to Iran. So that's basically saying, like, yeah, it's like they're giving information, but it's a mislead, basically, you know? And it will be a lot easier.
years, Iran has been saying death to America, death to Israel. They have been killing our people. I decided a long time ago that I would not let this happen.
The historic U.S. military operation complex and choreographed.
Look at that beautiful
Sites
jet.
targeted Natanz, Isfahan, and Fordo, buried deep beneath an Iranian mountain. The U.S. adding the element of surprise, with the president giving the final green light for.
Yeah, I'm just gonna say, like, the fact that those things are hidden in the mountains, I understand your warhead is, like, so potent it can go, like, it can literally burrow 200 feet through, like, whatever inch of concrete. But we're talking about a mountain that this facility is, that all these facilities are in. And the fact that Iran hasn't given out, we only just saw pictures now of how destroyed the facilities are, but they're underground. What is the extent of the damage? And Iran is just keeping quiet. There's no leaks. We have no leaks of our nuclear material. You know, there's no leaks at all. It just sounds that they are keeping their mouth shut. Because if there was a hectic, if they were really pulverized, I think that it would have been, we would know it, the way they would be acting right now. But the fact that they're keeping quiet, that's the worrisome part for me. Because, like, why are you keeping quiet? We just obliterate. You could say sorry. You could say, okay, we give up. Doesn't seem like Iran is giving up. They're just keeping quiet.
48 hours after announcing he would take up to 2 weeks to decide whether to strike.
Just a time to see whether or not people come to their senses.
It was actually 2 hours.
Apparent decoys on Saturday morning, B-2 stealth bombers launching from Missouri flying west. Hours before the B-2s used in the actual strikes headed east. The U.S. deploying 14 30,000-pound bunker-busting bombs for the first time in a military operation. In this satellite image of Fordo, if you zoom in, you can see several holes from the bunker-busting bombs, which explode underground. The B-2s also dropping them on Natanz.
They dropped 30,000-pound bombs on a target the size of a washing machine.
U.S. submarines firing Tomahawk missiles to hit the Isfahan site. In all, 125 U.S. warplanes and 75 precision-guided munitions used. And the Pentagon says Iran never fired a single shot.
And global reach of the United States military.
Defense Secretary Pete Hegseth pinning the praise on President Trump.
Many presidents have dreamed of delivering the final blow to Iran's nuclear program, and none could until President Trump.
And after Director of National Intelligence Tulsi Gabbard in March said Iran had an unprecedented amount of enriched uranium for a non-nuclear state, but that the Ayatollah had not ordered the development of a nuclear weapon, Secretary of State Marco Rubio argued the Iranian threat was urgent.
Let's just reopen that thing over here. Iran's key allies, okay? What they actually have. Oh dear, where is it? Iran's key allies. Oh yeah. Could Iran's global allies step in? Iran is also part of an informal network of CRINC countries, which is an acronym for China, Russia, Iran, and North Korea. So far, China has condemned Israel's attacks on Iran, but it has limited its response to supporting a diplomatic solution. North Korea has also condemned the attacks as a crime against humanity without offering Iran further support besides hugs and kisses. And it's Russia, however, that has stepped in offering to mediate the conflict, but are they going to get involved militarily is actually what I want to know about that. Okay. Other than that, Iran does have other supporters. They have the Houthis, which is still attacking Iraqi militias, which are also they both Iran back, and of course Hezbollah. Hamas is gone apparently, but they have Hamas, Hezbollah, the Iraqi militias, and of course the Houthis. So wow, it's kind of like sleeper cells and all of that stuff. The one thing I was saying is. Yeah, the other thing is, like, I swear Iran actually does have a nuke. They're just not ready to use it yet. Because if they do, then the opposing side is obviously going to use their own nukes at them. And then it's the next, and the next, and the next, and so on and so on. So it's going to be, like, pretty horrible. But what really got me was the fact that there might be sleeper cells. And this is actually what happened. Like, if you just listen, this is Iran sleeper cells activated in the United States after nuke site attack. Like, human drops big... Like, I don't know who that is.
Which Trump left early amid escalating conflict between Iran and Israel. Meanwhile, Iran has threatened U.S. bases in the Middle East. saying that the military bases used by the American soldiers could be attacked in retaliation. Notably, sleeper cells may be activated, trained agents living quiet lives until ordered to strike without warning. The FBI and Homeland Security are now on high alert, tracking potential threats linked to Iranian proxies. The police departments in New York, Washington, D.C., and Los Angeles released advisories stating that they are deploying additional forces to religious, cultural, and diplomatic sites across the city. The Department of Homeland Security has also warned that the Iran conflict is causing a heightened threat environment in the United States.
That's actually like don't you think that what Trump was doing now with the immigration thing was like it all falls in place? Like, you know, now there's sleeper cells, but they were getting rid of like immigration, those who don't have immigration papers, those who are those who are in the States illegally, and obviously those that have committed crimes and that are also immigrants. Don't you think it was a good thing now? All of those people are saying this is a crime against blah, 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 blah. But what I'm saying is, like, you know, now you're gonna want the immigration. Now you're gonna want ICE to do their job, because there might be terrorist sleeper cells, if that is true, in the United States. But Iran can't be. Doesn't seem like they might be joking. It might just be a threat, but I'm not too sure. Wow. I just want to go out of that and do this. Okay, this is now because of the immigration, and it says any sleeper cell attack, it's because of these two guys, which is basically Obama and of course, what was it? Incredible his hair is like that, and of course Biden. And he's like this one. Oh my God, we can't deport illegal immigrants. They are just they're just hardworking people wanting a better life. And he says, oh my God, sleeper cells will now be activated. It's like the same person will be saying that. This one says Iran war. Days before Trump decided to destroy Iran's nuclear weapons program, the Islamic Republic admitted that it had hundreds of sleeper cells already in the United States, ready to strike at a moment's notice. The UN defines this act as an act of war because it truly is. Like they literally have boots on the ground in the United States. That is warrism, to be honest. Iran told Trump days before attack it had sleeper cells in US. The infiltration of sleeper cells with the intent of to conduct terrorist attacks is classified as an armed attack under Article 51 of the UN Charter, which recognizes a state's right to self-defense. The admission by Iran days before Trump's decision to destroy Iran's nuclear weapons program easily justifies the attack. Well, that actually is true. So Iran actually threatened that before. Sleeper cells. Okay, 3 questions. Doesn't that mean that we're planning on harming us before the strike? Before the strike for some other or any reason? 2. Doesn't that prove that we didn't know who was sneaking through the border? Yeah, that is true though. That is true. And 3. Doesn't that prove that they're already at war with us? That is actually a very good question. Doesn't that prove that they are already at war with the United States, considering that Iran has, let's just say we don't know unless ICE and the other military guys in the States find sleeper cells. But doesn't it mean that Iran has already considered the United States a threat and has already sent boots on the ground to the States to basically cause some crap? If you're saying Trump's bad because now Iran will activate sleeper cells, having sleeper cells in the US is already justification for a war against Iran. Yeah, dude. I mean, yeah, in on the continent of Africa, there are other terrorist groups out there, like in Mozambique. There's apparently terrorist groups. A terrorist group, I do not know the name, but they do come from the east, or the Middle East in a sense. And from what I've been hearing, they chopping the heads of Christians. So if you're Christian traveling through Mozambique, yeah, just be careful. Apparently, they're chopping heads there. If you're an American and think President Trump should make decisions based on what won't anger the Iranian sleeper cells, you're effing retard. You're an American. Okay. Well, this is breaking. Iran has activated the most notorious sleeper cell. I don't know. That one goes over my head. I'm confused. That one goes over my head. This Iranian was let into our country under Joe Biden. He is part of us. How do you know? How do you know?
Wow, very easy. The entitlement.
You are smart enough, you will know who I am. But you are really not smart enough to know who I am. But soon you're gonna know who I am. Very easy.
Wow, very easy. The entitlement.
And now the dude on the camera takes it as a threat.
Entitlement. The entitlement.
No,
You shouldn't be talking about entitlement. You're an American. Come on.
believe me, I'm much better than that.
The entitlement, guys.
There's a lot of people with entitlement in America. Let's not be surprised now. Let's not be surprised. There's a lot of people in America that with entitlement. The people with the colors, the rainbow colors, the people with the rainbow colors, the people that don't like other people. But this is funny. You don't know who I am. You'll know who I am very soon. Very soon you'll know who I am. Now, what's your name? What's your name? You want to know about Iranian sleeper cells? I don't know what hall, but whatever, before Congress and make him explain this video. What?
Things like F Israel and any Jew who supports Israel. May your conscience haunt your dreams until your last breath. Palestine will be free one day. F apartheid Israel and any Israeli. This is pretty extreme rhetoric, don't you think?
Senator, I do, and I think there is a distinction between espousing or endorsing terror.
Yeah, man, it's all hectic now. Now it's like, now is everybody in America going to be looking over their shoulder? Because they are sleeper cells. That's basically like it's taking it back to 2001. Where anybody that's Middle Eastern on a plane or there is like a potential terrorist. That's basically what Iran has done. They have literally endangered every Eastern descent, every person in the United States that is of Eastern descent. That's what's actually happening. And we already know that, a lot of people in America are allowed to carry a weapon. Man, it's quite scary if you are one of those people. If you a person that's actually from the Middle East and is part of a sleeper cell. Yes, it's terrifying times right now. It's terrifying times. You can assess how many Iranians are in the country that are in sleeper cells. Does it actually mean that they are Iranian? I mean, there's Hezbollah, there's the Houthis, there's Hamas. Dude, is it really just Iranian? That's the thing. If Iranian sleeper cells are in the US, how did they get in? And this dude just stands there smiling. How did they get in? He's like, yeah, it was me. The Rude Awakening. Breaking news. Iran threatened Trump with sleeper cell terror attacks on US soil days before nuclear strikes. Is that why? I don't know anything right now. I don't know anything right now. Iran was launching rockets. They're not launching rockets anymore. They're quiet. Is this the move of a sleeper cell or is this the move of a freaking nuke? Is what I want to know. Or is it just going to die down? Like, they can't do anything and that dies down. Is that what it actually means? Rising concern over Iranian sleeper cells. Yeah, now everybody's freaking scared. Now everybody's freaking scared in their own homeland. I wish everybody would stop freaking out about the sleeper cells. Shaking my head. They are here for a reason and whatever they plan on doing was going to get done regardless of the bombing. They are terrorists. Man, yeah, my heart goes out to you, US. First there was Israel. Israel is kind of safe now. There doesn't seem to be any rockets being launched. But right now, the United States has sleeper cells to deal with. And to everybody in the United States, watch your back.